Welcome back to Houselights, your one-stop shop for everything you need to hear about this week in the world of entertainment. As always, I'm your host, Liz Noss, joined by my beautiful and wonderful co-host,
Claire Donahoe.
And Jack's back.
I'm back.
Back so soon.
Back so soon. And we're going to get into the topic of Brainrot today, which Jack has brought to our attention, that he just really wants to talk about. You can't get this guy to stop talking about Brainrot.
He was begging us.
He was
I was
begging
not
us.
begging.
He was watching videos before this.
He was sending us videos all week, actually.
Yeah, sort of passively, just kind of floating them
Oh,
over
it
to
wasn't
you.
like intentional. It was
Just kind of floating them over to you when they showed up on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Why are they showing up on your Instagram?
Yeah, this is a lot of recommended.
That's a good question. You called that a red flag earlier, Claire.
I had to explain to Jack what a beige flag was before this started, and I
Oh.
used red flags and green flags as a way to explain it. And then
Feels
20 seconds later, when we got
normal.
back on the topic of Brainrot, and Jack turned his phone and showed me the football one that he sent both of
Yeah.
us,
I like
I
that
said,
one.
this is a red flag, just to help you get some perspective on the flags.
See, this one's a red flag.
So yeah, I did.
You also had to explain a beige flag to me because I didn't know what I didn't get the tradwife trend on my Instagram.
We did a lot of crash course trend explaining
You know what?
right before this.
Before I get into my PSA, I really need you guys to talk about tradwives because I have no
Okay.
context for this.
So, tradwives, nothing really new has
I
happened.
mean, I know what a
Yeah.
tradwife is, but like I was confused. You guys like, yeah, we're gonna talk about tradwives. I'm like, all right,
Okay, let me
I'll just sit
explain.
here.
Tradwives, short for traditional wives.
Of course.
Okay, so like homemaking, etc. The reason Jack and I wanted to talk about it for a brief second is because we are in the same English class, and we recently did
Sylvia's
something
class
called a
reading
tutorial.
bitches.
Yeah, something called a tutorial, which is like a, just like a.
It's really popular in the UK.
It's just like a small group discussion with the professor,
Yeah.
and you go in with your small group one of the days to class, and
Hey, that's not the definition of the word tutorial.
you read these articles and discuss them. So the articles we had to read were about tradwives. So Jack and I just finished reading those, and I was already familiar with tradwives. I did not know how they started, which is what the article was about. Very interesting read, I'd say.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. But as I was already familiar with it, when they name dropped a couple of tradwives in the articles, I was already prepared. Jack was not. So we've all heard of Ballerina Farm.
Yes, of course.
Well, yes, of course. Well, not of course for
I have
Jack
not,
over
no.
here.
Because that's actually what I was gonna talk. I was gonna
Yeah.
be like, did you read the ballerina
So
farm article?
the article was not about Ballerina Farm, but Hannah Nealman was name dropped in the article as like a collection of examples, and I recognized the name, and I was a little bit taken aback that I recognized it so quickly, and I was like, maybe I should get off the internet, but I knew. Anyway,
We all read the New Yorker.
over
Yeah, we do.
over the
Here's the same
summer,
news.
there was an article about her published.
Yes.
I wished that it had been published in September, so we could have done a whole Houselights episode. It's a bit too far gone, but I just wanted to hear Jack's thoughts on the article primarily. We are not in the same tutorial group, so I have no idea what Jack thought about the articles. And though we're months late to the whole Ballerina Farm thing exploding is an insane word to use.
Just no, it exploded. I
Coming to
feel
light.
like.
I don't know.
Everybody
Ballerina
was
Farm
talking about
is
it.
this Mormon woman who was a dancer at Juilliard
Huh.
and was the first pregnant ballerina because she married this dude, also Mormon, who was like, we're getting married and having babies now. Then they moved to the middle of wherever they live now, and they run a farm, and her username is Ballerina Farm, and she makes these tradwife videos, and she was one of like the bigger names that like kind of blew up as tradwives becoming an aesthetic.
Interesting.
And she'll like be cooking grilled cheese from scratch with like a baby on her hip, and like
Right.
she looks so calm and happy. I'm sure you talked about this in your tutorial, like how it's a lifestyle as it was talked about in the
We
article.
briefly talked about aesthetics.
But now it's also an aesthetic because social
Yeah.
media has like really taken advantage of turning this into something and having it look a certain way. So anyway, Ballerina Farm is just a prime example of that, and I thought it could relate to the article.
Well, I felt in my tutorial group, it was a little interesting for me because I'm with 3 other people who very obviously were like, they had very strong opinions on tradwives and the whole trend. And I just didn't, because I didn't know. Like this article, which it's called The Rise and Fall of the Tradwife by Sophia Elmhurst. It's a New Yorker article if anyone wants to look into it. But yeah, that was my entire, this informed everything I know about tradwives.
Yeah.
So it was a bit interesting. The woman who sort of started the movement, Elena Kate Petit, is that how you were pronouncing it?
Yeah.
Petit. A very interesting journey she kind of went through. She kind of like gave birth to this philosophy and wrote a book about it, and then social media kind of took it and like mangled it into this other thing.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, she was kind of disillusioned by it. She doesn't really know if she can fully associate it with it anymore.
Yeah, she like left the movement, and she even made a comment in the article. She was like, even if we move to Australia, you know, this whole thing is always going to be tied to my name. She goes, social media kind of took it, and then she would get questions from people.
Like, took it in a negative route? Or
took
like...
it and turned it into what when you think of tradwife, like, whatever you're thinking of, social media kind of, or maybe not whatever you're thinking of, but I'm just assuming, like, the aesthetic part of it. Social media took it from, like, lifestyle to aesthetic. Like, connected the two. And she says in the article, which I just thought this was interesting. I mean, clearly let me know that I was generalizing tradwives everywhere, but she was like, this just started because I wanted it to be an inclusive thing. I wanted other women who, you know, felt compelled to lead the same lifestyle as me have a place and community to go to.
Yeah.
And then ironically, it's now become what we know it today through social media as a very, like, exclusive thing. And you kind of have to look a certain way. It's the videos are filmed a certain way. There's never any emotion. There's rarely any music or anything. You know, you think of like Nara Smith. Like, she's in this clean kitchen. She looks perfect. There's not, she's baking and there's nothing on her hand somehow. The whole thing, it's just very orchestrated. And then you hear the kids laughing in the background. Okay, Hannah Nealman of Ballerina Farm has, I believe, 9 or 10 children.
Yeah.
They would be poking each other in the eye in the background. There's absolutely no way. And then she's just smiling, making bread out of seemingly nothing.
Yep.
Her story is crazy because they're actually loaded. And her her husband's father owns, I want to say,
it's like Boeing
or something.
Yeah, like a jet company.
And
I don't think it's Boeing.
They like live, but they like live off the land. And
I've heard of these people.
It's kind of
I sort of remember this now. Yeah.
It's presented to you in a very specific way, and the originator of the trend in this article kind of said, like, on the record, I didn't want it to get to this point. Like, it's not supposed to be about what you look like. It's not supposed to be, even if you're in, like, a heterosexual relationship or not. Because she said she had people reach out to her, and she was like, oh, my God, I'm horrified that you think you have to fulfill this, like, ultra-feminine aesthetic and, like, only homemaking.
And when you think about tradwife, you really do think about, like, Mormonism. And you think about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very tied.
It's like a conditioned thing, almost. Whereas she was trying to say it's, like, something you choose, which is the example of, like, ironically, modern day feminism as, like, I perceive it. Like, if a woman wants to be a homemaker, that's her choice. Whereas I think now when I think of tradwives, I think of someone that was, like, conditioned to believe you had to do it, which is kind of different.
That's kind of how people took Ballerina Farm and, like, ran with it. They were like, she, you know, was forced to give up her dream of being a ballerina, and, you know, her husband sucks and gets her, like, aprons as gifts instead of, like, her dream to go to another country. And, like, I definitely fell into that sort of, like, narrative for sure, where I was like, they ruined her dreams. But it's also like, but
maybe, or maybe she chose it. I mean, we don't know.
She just chose and wanted to.
And that's hard to tell with social media. Sorry, you were going to say something, and I cut you off.
Well, no, I was just going to say, prior to her sort of getting those messages, that was actually what brought her down to earth, because she was very much part of this, like, social media image that happened. There's a part where she writes about, or she talks about, rather, she would post videos wearing, like, t-shirt and jeans.
This is the founder? Okay.
Petite, or however her name is pronounced. She would post videos wearing, like, t-shirt and jeans, and those wouldn't get engagement. So she very much fed into, like, the internet definition of, like, her lifestyle, which was, you know, dressing all modestly and with the dress, and, you know, of course that's what would drive the engagement. So, very interesting stuff.
So will you be looking into tradwives now that you know a little bit more about it?
Is it still, like, are people still talking about it on the internet?
Nara Smith,
People are talking about Nara Smith.
Okay.
She freaks me.
I might. I just kind of, like, watch whatever she
I can't picture you really, like, going down this rabbit hole.
There's so many parodies of, like, Nara Smith and, like, her husband, where they're, like, just constantly, like, touching each other and, like, constantly just, like, making out on, like, camera, and then she's like, and I'm making a quiche.
Her voice is, and, like, the whole thing is, it's, I don't know, the way it's sold to you, like, it's just eerie enough that you're, like, off-put, but not enough that you don't want to scroll away.
Right.
You're, like, almost comforted by it, but I don't know.
I'm not comforted. I'm just, like,
I don't know.
It's so elusive, the life that they lead, where I'm just, like, I'm not quite sure who you are, and I don't think that this is real, and then
I just
such
keep
is social
scrolling.
media.
Yeah.
Such is.
Many such cases.
I just want them to take the phone away from, like, it's facing them cooking and just show, like, the rest of their house.
Yeah, I want to
The
see
kids, like
beating each other,
duct
like
tape on
Lord
their
of the
mouths or
Flies.
something.
Painting on the walls.
Yeah,
seriously. Anyway, any other thoughts on what your tutorial group discussed with tradwives?
No, we went very English student mode. I'm not sure I could recount a lot of the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad the English department's making its way into Houselights.
Yeah.
Thank you, MSU English department.
We're doing important work over here, everyone.
Anyways, enough of that.
Yeah.
I just had I had my own side tangent just really quick. This is something that I was dealing with last night, and I just wanted to do like a PSA for anybody out there listening. Like one person. But anyways, it may seem comforting to sort of listen to music with the vibe that you're in, because if you're someone that like is listening to music like all the time, like I feel like not consuming music throughout the day, unless of course I'm like doing something, but usually when I'm doing something I'm listening to music, whatever. I was feeling kind of upset last night. I was upset, and so I made a playlist called Instant Criers, because I was like, I just kind of want like a vibe that, because like when you're sad you don't really want to listen to like happy music, so you're like, oh, there's this like, I feel like this weird psychological disconnect. Don't do that. Don't listen to more sad music when you're already feeling sad. It's going to make it worse. And I don't know how many times I have to tell myself that, so I thought I just wanted to put it on the record today so I could listen back to myself and be like, you don't need to listen to this. It's going to make you feel worse. I was just wondering if you guys had those experiences as well.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
With having those experiences, or that it will make you feel worse?
That it makes you feel... I mean, okay. I'm not going to say that like that makes you feel worse or whatever, or not make
Go ahead, Jack.
Or whatever. I just think... because you said don't do it. I think, for me at least, listening to sad music when I'm sad, or for me, because I don't listen to music as much as you do. I don't have headphones, unfortunately.
Which is something I learned.
It's just real. It's a very temporary issue. It's getting fixed soon, guys. Claire, you don't have to look at me like that.
That's like crazy though.
It'll get fixed, guys.
Send money to the state news so we can watch
I
it.
don't have headphones. I don't listen. I am.
What happened?
Walking through the day. It's a number of things. I never really did Bluetooth headphones. And then
so old school.
My charger port is like pretty broken right now, so I need to get that fixed. So until I get that fixed, I'm kind of just going through the day without me. I listen to music if I'm home alone. I'll play music usually out loud. Anyway, I think when we listen to like sad music, or like for me, like I watch sad movies when I'm sad, because I think it validates those sad feelings,
Yeah.
And because you're an English major.
Sure, yeah.
No. Because of the territory.
I think it validates those feelings, and I think I'm never going to be more upset than I was before, but I feel like I might be more in touch with those sad feelings if I watch. Manchester by the Sea is a good one.
Oh, that is a good one.
That's a good one. I always go to that.
I ugly cried when I saw that movie.
I've never
or
seen
even
that.
comfort movies that are a little bit sad. Beginners. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a very like melancholy movie. Like half of it is like super like feel good, happy, and then there's a lot of sad components of it. But I like to go to that one too. That's my take on that though.
No, and here's the thing. I don't think you're wrong. I think personally for like me though, like it just makes me feel like I'm like, you know why you're sad? Because you keep listening to sad things.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so it's like maybe you turn on some happy music, but then I'm like mad because I'm like, I don't feel happy right now. I can't listen to happy music. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm in the middle
right
of
now.
both of your answers. I agree with you. Like, I will usually turn to sad music.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I do too, but it's like, but I shouldn't do that.
But then eventually, you kind of have to cut yourself off. Like, there's a distinct, I don't know, like, feel what you need to feel, but you'll kind of hit a point where
eventually it's self-pity.
You need to stop.
So true.
And force yourself to listen to something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually have a little story about this, which is kind of ridiculous. I've probably told you this, Liz, but I don't know. So a couple many months ago, I don't know.
Many moons ago.
I was in a place of nearly exclusively listening to sad music.
Oh.
And I was like, it was helpful at first. And then it was just me exclusively listening to sad music. But I told myself, okay, well, if this helps you cry it out, you need to do it, but also we can't do this all day long. So I developed this strange ritual that ended up sticking, and I would let myself cry it out, and then I'm like, well, I have to go grocery shopping. I have to do my day.
Yeah.
So I would immediately wipe tears and put on Sticky by Drake.
Oh, yes.
And I would make myself listen to the whole thing and, like stand up. Like, I couldn't be sitting. I would have to stand up. And just, like, headphones on, I would force myself to listen to the whole song. And if you've ever heard the song...
just standing?
Well, I'd kind of do a little dance. But I couldn't just be, like, sitting in my bed crying type of thing.
Right.
And if you've ever heard Sticky by Drake, you know that it's not even a great song, really.
No.
The beat is just, like...
No.
just, you know, preppy
Sure, yeah.
enough. Not preppy, you know what I mean.
Peppy.
The song itself is not great. Not even close to one of my favorites, really. But for some reason, it worked. And then it became one of those things, like, I don't know if this is the right term, but like the Pavlov
did you Pavlov dog yourself?
I would literally I'd have a sad moment, and I would cry, and then before I even put the headphones on, I would start doing the dun 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 dun. That's the opening, obviously.
This is awful.
But guys, but yeah, I know to Drake. I can admit this now because it's been many months, and I don't feel as embarrassed. I don't feel embarrassed. It worked. It actually made me feel better because by the end of Sticky, I was ready to like leave my room and re-enter the world. So all that to say, you can have both.
You can have both.
There also came a time after those many months of listening to exclusively sad music where I kind of had to make I had to make a new playlist, and I remember calling it Better for My Brain, and I made myself listen to that. I had to reach for that first because
that's a good
I needed a
idea.
break, and sometimes someone else has to hold an intervention for you and take you out of it, but in that case, fortunately, I was able to be like, Claire,
Maybe that's the advice that people should take.
So maybe
Make a better for
you
your
don't.
brain.
Why did I lead with Sticky? You don't need to listen to Sticky to feel better.
I think
You should
have
make
to
a
listen to
playlist.
Sticky.
Oh, you know what else does the job? Hot Wings from the Rio
Oh,
soundtrack.
and that's
a good
one that I
It's
can agree
transformative.
with.
But yeah, put on an upbeat song, but also let yourself cry it out. You can have both, and you should make a sad playlist, but you should also consider making it doesn't even have to be happy. It can be like R&B. It can be a slower song,
Yeah.
but not as like depressing as Waiting Room by Phoebe Bridgers.
When I had this realization about the playlist, I ended up putting on, instead of happy music, because like I said, that was making me like angry. I put on jazz.
Yes.
So it's like kind of in the middle, like no lyrics sort of thing.
You can interpret
Nothing to
it,
think about too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, with the sad, exclusively listening to sad music, I definitely did that with movies for a while. I remember there was a stretch
Tragedy after tragedy.
a stretch of time where I think the last 4 movies I'd watched was Manchester by the Sea, Shame, and Schindler's List.
Whoa.
And then another one, which was also pretty sad, but I'm blanking on right now.
La La Land.
Whoa.
That one's sort of upbeat, though.
Not the ending.
Yeah, it's upbeat because they're singing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's jazz.
And then it's sad anyway.
But I do have to know, what were the songs? Like, what artists were you listening to in your sad music phase?
Phoebe Bridgers.
Obviously.
Lizzie McAlpine. Adrian Lenker.
Never heard of.
Whoa. Okay. Gracie Abrams.
Yeah.
Matt Maltese.
I was gonna say some Matt Maltese.
I like Matt Maltese all year round, though, no matter the mood.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. It'll come to me. But those were like the big players. It was just a lot of Waiting Room by Phoebe Bridgers.
Just a lot.
Just a lot.
I listened to...
Yeah, it would end and I would repeat it. Moon
That's
Song.
actually crazy.
I know that one, yeah.
Moon Song is on my instant criers.
I have a Claw
Let me look it
Machine
up.
by I think it's Phoebe Bridgers from
okay.
I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
That entire soundtrack is great.
Let me,
You're sad.
No,
Yeah.
I second the Liz McAlpine. I'm gonna add Mitski to your list.
Yep, that's a great one.
Those are some good
100%.
criers.
Lucy Dacus.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
yeah, this is...
I was also saying Phoebe Bridgers.
Don't look at how many playlists I have. Everyone always makes fun of that.
I think it's great.
They don't delete.
Jack was saying that he's not a playlist
I'm
person.
not a playlist guy.
Place.
I'm not looking.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not a playlist guy. More of an album guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
PJ was saying that he's an album guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He like sits down and like tries to like listen to one album a day or something. which is crazy.
That is crazy.
That's
PJ's
a lot of
on our
music.
sports desk. He's a cool guy.
Boy genius.
Well, he was just here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For anyone who doesn't know. Anyone just joining
He
us.
was just one of our good buddies.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
All right.
Oh, also Jake Minch. Shout out Jake Minch.
Jake Minch.
Love that guy. His songs are gut-wrenching, but
Ginger
awesome.
Ginger Minch.
Okay. And on that
That was
note...
like me and Jack's like verbal stem. The other day we're going Ginger Minch. But watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
She's not my favorite. Ginger
No,
Minch,
she's not.
but
Jinx Monsoon is way better. Anything that Ginger Minch can do, Jinx
Who's the one I
Monsoon's
was
better.
really into? Detox.
Detox.
Yep. Detox.
And I'm more of an Alaska. But, Alaska Talks, they were like a little...
Detox, if you're watching.
Love you. Nice job, Detox. Anyways, let's get into what we were actually going to talk about today.
Brainrot.
Which is Brainrot. Jack's been asking me to do this forever, but anyway.
Yeah, so it's actually funny because I was actually like half joking when I brought it up, and then yesterday or the other day I figured out we were actually doing this for real, and I was like,
You were
okay.
sending them to me in preparation.
I was
You were
sending them to
banging on the door of the podcast room. Let me come back.
Let me in.
So I guess we should start off with a definition then.
Yes, well,
And
I
this is
wrote
taken
down. Jack needs to introduce
Right
us.
from Wikipedia, what I have right here.
Wonderful.
And I'll just read it out. It says
Very fitting.
Brain rot or brain rot. It's spelled both as two words and one word. Is a colloquial term used to describe internet content deemed to be of low quality or value, or the negative psychological and cognitive effects caused by exposure to it. The term also refers to excessive use of digital media, especially short-form entertainment, which may affect cognitive health, such as resulting in a reduced attention span or impaired mental functioning, and is mainly associated with Gen A, Generation Alpha, who is post
Gen Z.
2010, 20.
Okay.
I don't know.
Whenever Gen Z stops.
Yeah,
And
whenever
according to
Gen Z
Wikipedia, this was coined in 2007, which I have a hard time believing.
Which is crazy.
stops. I could believe that because I think back then was when you started to see like, I don't even know how to describe it, the rise in like memes that just like don't make sense.
Right.
But they were still called memes.
But we could still find yeah.
Well, the funniest thing was I was actually thinking about this the other day because I don't even know. Someone brought up like a meme costume or something, and I was like, yeah, in high school, in band camp, we had a meme day, which is just like so band camp.
100%, yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't as into themes as I am now, but like, so I just like taped pictures to my shirt, and like most of them were not memes; they were just random pictures that I found funny, and one of them was just like spaghetti in a vase.
Oh, okay.
And that was like, and I'm like, that's so brain rot. So it's like, okay, because like I think of brain rot now, and I think of like Skibbity Toilet Riz or whatever.
Let's just rip the Band-Aid
let's just
off
rip the Band-Aid, right?
and get into the
Skibbity Toilet
list.
Riz.
Yeah.
And but I think that, but you're right. Brain rot has been around a lot longer, and we saw that with like Vine and stuff too. I think.
Yeah.
Which is also short form content.
Yeah. I think it's kind of lost, and this is what we were pre-podcasting before the podcast
yep.
about. We were talking about. Now I am of the belief I don't think brain rot in 2024 is funny. I think like Vines used to be funny, or like spaghetti in a vase, like the more memes. I think
Spaghetti in a vase.
it has shaped, or it's been like reshaped into just someone playing Subway Surfers while someone else makes slime while there's a song playing and a loud crashing sound, and also there's a story time happening in the background. Oh, but don't worry, because you're gonna watch 5 seconds of it and scroll because your brain just needs that. I don't think
See,
it's
I find
funny.
that funny.
No.
It is hilarious.
hilarious.
It's just interesting that they call it short form entertainment
Yeah.
because, in my opinion, at least 80% of the brain rot content I've come across is not entertaining. Mm-hmm. I'm watching it and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
It's stimulating.
Well, yes.
Well,
It's stimulating.
I think it's funny
I'm doom
because
scrolling.
there is
Exactly.
there's like real brain rot that's like the Subway Surfers plus the like Reddit story time
Yeah,
of someone like,
that's what
jumping on Minecraft things or whatever. And it's like, but I feel like there's also a sub content area of like ironic brain rot that has taken all of those
Yeah.
things where like people are genuinely trying to reduce your attention span on TikTok and like genuinely trying to like pull you in with these like cheap tricks, and then they turn that into a joke, and
Yeah,
that's what's
100%.
funny.
Yeah, the mockery.
The
of
mockery.
it.
Which
Okay.
it's become its own, but it's still brain rot. You know, like
Yeah.
Just
it's
like a
fun.
branch of it.
It's just funny
Yeah.
this time. You know, it's Brainrot, but it's funny. And I think what's really interesting for me, at least, is how we see this just kind of like manifest in society. I'm currently writing a story on the decline of the humanities, and this thing I keep seeing popping up in all these articles I'm reading is professors and teachers. They're just saying like kids don't read anymore. Kids can't like pay attention for more than just like 5 seconds because that's, you know, this is the stuff younger people are ingesting on social media, wherever else, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about that earlier about how the differences between like people our age, you know, doing this kind of stuff or like laughing at this kind of stuff versus people like in Gen Alpha, like my brother, my sister, who are a lot younger. You have a younger brother.
Yeah. Who was helping me come up with the list that we'll get
Exactly.
into as I stare at it and want to puke.
But I think younger people, like, they're a lot more drawn to like this, like the original Brainrot, I guess if we can call it. And then when you see people our age sort of using the exact same vocabulary or the exact same jokes, it's ironic, but it sounds exactly the same to someone who might be like on the outside, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would also like to say that when we were talking about this earlier, Jack actually looked me in the eye and said, well, when people my age say it.
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay, so am I 50 years
So
old?
I'm 50.
Well,
Well,
I meant our age, but
well, just wanted to say.
That's
We're
offensive.
almost the same age.
Kind of.
Anyway,
But yeah, let's talk about the list.
yeah,
list.
so with that,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I was going to say really quick, in the same English class that we are talking about tradwives in, we did an article earlier in the year. Do you remember the one about like people saying kids don't read as much?
Yeah.
And in class?
Yeah.
Is that the
That's
one?
what I was talking about, yeah.
Oh, you're using a Solano article for your...
I'm using a Solano article.
Aw,
You'll have to tell her. Our professor just learned that Jack
Thank you,
works at the
Professor.
State News. She's,
finally.
she's a
Is she
very
gagged?
big fan.
She's a big fan.
A very big fan of the State News.
Mm-hmm.
Is she excited for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
She seemed, we've talked about it. She doesn't know Claire, unless you've told her that you work.
I did not tell her.
I kind of wish I was in this English class.
It's a great class.
She's
Because you guys
awesome.
We love
got
it.
to watch like Planet of the Apes and like Babe.
We did watch Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
great.
this has been a great class.
Mm-hmm.
Take 362 with Cara Solano.
Yeah.
And that's an official State News opinion.
Endorsed.
Endorsement. Yeah.
Houselights
Classroom
endorses.
I'm just like looking. Sorry,
Cal.
I'm looking at our Google Doc, and this just says crashing sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into this
That's-
list.
that's
shall we?
the
I didn't
best
see
part
this
of it.
until
So that
just now.
crashing sound. Whoa. My God.
Whoa.
Crashing sounds.
The
Excuse
brain
me.
rot's hitting.
It's crucial to the brain rot.
And
Oh, yeah.
intense stimuli.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
The list you're both looking at is just what I thought brain rot was. So it's crashing sounds, intense stimuli, almost old sounding.
I don't get that.
Like the sound
The quality is just bad?
yes,
Just bad.
purposefully like staticky, just enough that you notice it, but not enough that you don't hate it.
Right.
It's not funny, and
That seems a bit personal.
I think that that's personal.
and it's
I
overstimulating.
genuinely think it's
Overstimulating.
Not only is it intense stimuli, I also wrote that it's overstimulating. And then beneath that, I have a quick list of many of the most popular ones and the ones that my brother had to teach me, who's a freshman in high school. So
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Let's get first one. Oil up.
I still don't
I
understand.
don't
do
know
I.
what that
I
is.
don't get
I
this
don't
one.
get that one.
That was on a graphic that Jack actually included.
Yeah. So apparently this is a brain rot term. Oil up. I vaguely remember seeing this. I don't know what it means.
It's just a bottle of oil.
No, wait.
I'm seeing
Let's
on the-
guess. Let's guess. You just okay.
Okay. Oiled up is slang term that means drunk or intoxicated.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh.
I see that.
Okay. Yeah. I think we should move on.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Of course, the next one is the titular Riz, which
Oh,
I
of
think we all
course.
know is short for charisma. Which
I feel like that one has made more rounds than a lot of these other
100%,
ones.
yeah,
That's
that
a
might be
big
the most
one.
popular,
Riz, yeah.
and that sort of refers to, I guess, just talking to people that
Yeah,
Having
might
game.
just like
be
flirting.
into-
Yeah,
flirting.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
Baby
next-
Gronk just rizzed up Livy Dunn.
That's another one. Yeah, we have
The characters of Brainrot.
Baby Gronk is a character of Brainrot, I believe.
I don't get who he is.
So he was
I
just
don't
like
know.
this kid, and it is a little sad, kind of. He's this kid who like plays flag football, and he somehow made his rounds on the internet, doing something, some gimmick. You know, that's the internet. And
It's the internet for you.
Exactly, and his dad, I think, kind of just like took the persona he had kind of gotten, and really just like made him into like a product. And he's all over now. Like he meets all these celebrities and stuff, and he's doing all this, and like he's kind of a meme now. But it is a little sad, but it's also like
he was exploited.
Yeah, very much so.
Wait,
And he's kind of too young to. I mean, it's a tale you see over and over again. Young people being exploited by like parents for the sake of like social media views.
Well, it's so much easier now because I think when we used to think of like old child actors, like there was a lot of laws around like I don't know, like Disney Channel production and stuff like that. But like now, like parents can just do whatever because it's like on the internet.
Family vloggers too. Like we could get into that forever and ever. Wait, is this the We Bring the Boom?
No, that's different. Those are the Costco.
Those are the Costco boys.
That's a little separate.
Too
But
much
those
to
are
sort through,
other
really.
characters. I don't even know.
Are they part of Brainrot?
I don't think you can call them.
They're just kind of like Twitter humor.
Yeah. Next up, someone wrote "What the Sigma."
Someone. Nice, Claire. I don't really. I mean, it's just like a.
I mean, the Sigma is like the newest Ubermensch, I guess. Kind of garnered to fit.
What?
It's like Nietzsche's philosophy of like the Ubermensch and stuff, or the Overman or whatever. Just kind of like shaped to fit the internet terms and stuff like that. That's my interpretation of Sigma. I don't know what the Sigma came from.
I think it's a diss. Like you say it to someone as
like what?
I didn't know that. I've
like Sigma is the negative opposite of like alpha. So if you say what the Sigma, you're kind of like but why would you frame it as a question?
See, when I'm looking at this picture here, it's just a picture of Squidward, so that gives me nothing.
Well, yeah, I think the original meme was just Squidward saying it, but I think English also has this like fun thing to it where you can just kind of like put any word after what the and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like what the F, what Yeah. Like that's not what that word means. Like it doesn't make sense, but like we do it anyway.
Right.
And actually, there's a word for when I was in France, there was a linguist or someone studying linguistics, and he had been telling me there's like a name for that in language, and I actually find that really fascinating.
Yeah.
So that might be my favorite on the Brainrot list actually.
I know what mine is.
What's yours?
We haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay. Oh wait, beta. A beta male.
Sigma is above alpha.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait.
No, I thought. Wait. Okay.
No, it's like
I thought Sigma was its like separate.
You are so detached from like everything.
You're Mr. Cool Guy. Is like kind of what this is saying. You're the lone wolf, actually.
Exactly.
Okay. The lone wolf, or someone who prefers their own company versus that of a crowd. But I feel like people are saying what the Sigma as a diss, which makes me think they should be saying what the beta. I sound like I'm 45. Like I cannot even.
I feel like this podcast is really aging us.
Too hard
of course I am.
Yeah.
Just say it.
I think it's just funny because Squidward says
it's funny
in a funny voice.
Can that be the title of the episode? What the Sigma with Houselights?
Anyway, we'll get away from that one. Up next, we got mewing, which
I did know this one.
I don't think was I think it was a real thing that had been turned into like a Brainrot thing. I think like this was like an actual thing where if like you put the tongue to the roof of your mouth for like an extended period of time, it does actually like have an effect.
People were actually doing it. Yeah,
it was like a medical thing that like had been like acknowledged. But yeah, I think it kind of got turned into a meme of just like.
This is one that my mother, who teaches middle schoolers, actually brought up to me recently. She was like,
"Oh, really?
The kids keep using mewing, and I'm not quite sure." And I was like, "Mom, you gotta
listen to Houselights."
And then sort of a subterm, or I guess the umbrella term to mewing would be mogging.
What?
Mogging is when. This is so awful. I feel like I don't know. Anyway, mogging is when you're
when kids his age use it.
I'll use it as an example.
We don't get it because we're your senior. So
if you're in a crowd of people and you are like way more attractive than everyone else in that crowd of people, then you are mogging those people.
Oh, okay.
But mewing is a method of mogging.
That's how it feels all the time to be me. Just mogging.
So bad.
That's so crazy.
I think it comes from like 4chan culture. Like,
yeah.
Self-hate and dissing other people.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Moving on though. Next one is gyat.
Yeah, this is my favorite one.
Gyat.
I use gyat actually daily.
I need to take these off. Like, I can't.
Which is a derived from gyat dam, or goddamn, like gyat,
Yeah.
So,
Gyat.
but then it kind of turned into a bit of a adjective now. Like it's all of it.
Isn't it? Like, yeah, you can use gyat for. I thought it was now like sort of
a noun
like
for
to talk about like ass.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Hey, why is it spelled like Wyatt with a G?
Because that's how you say it.
That's how you say it, like gyat.
Oh, of course.
And actually,
But then like I've also seen like people say gyat to like describe a woman as well.
yeah.
So like I don't really,
I thought it was like
which is different from huz.
Did you already explain that's like goddamn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Taylor brought up a good point earlier about how, and I think this is a great example about how a lot of these terms, a lot of the Brainrot stuff is just like old slang kind of rebranded, and I think this is a great example of that. It's just a slang, but just kind of like presented as like this new thing or like this like, new
with a
word.
slightly new.
Exactly.
And
way to
then there's
apply
some
it.
words that have never existed, like skibbity, like toilet, like toilet risk. Like,
Skibbity.
like I don't understand. Like skibbity, like doesn't make any
Which is
sense.
actually next on our list, so
Yes.
great segue. Love that.
Thank you. It's almost like
skibbity,
I've been doing this a while.
Oh yeah. I don't even know. I think that came from like, was it Gary's Mod? I feel like, I don't know. It came from some like video game, and it was literally just like heads and toilets.
It's an animation.
An animation.
Made with the software.
Yeah.
I hate this one.
And I don't even. That's another one of those words that like really I don't think has any meaning anymore. People just like say
Like
it.
skibbity.
Like yeah, like skibbity.
Well, they say
cat, like-
skibbity before. Wait.
I feel like it's like you're only using it with other brain rot words. Like you're never just
Okay.
saying skibbity.
This says it has
Like-
no inherent meaning. Yeah,
Yeah,
it says
yeah.
you just put it before a word.
Anything?
The word is often used to start a joking conversation or to reference absurd slang culture. Skibbity is a Gen Alpha slang term that can mean cool, bad, or dumb, depending on the context.
This is from the AI overview when you Google things on Google.
Thanks,
Yeah.
AI overview.
Thank you, AI overview.
Used as a wacky adjective.
A wacky adjective. Well, let's
Say
leave
this
it
is
there.
pro
It's a
AI.
wacky adjective that you can just kind of like throw into your sentence.
Skibbity
Wait, so you're
whiz.
describing something as skibbity? It's not like its own thing?
You could.
It's a lawless word. It has
It is a
no.
lawless
It's like
word.
liquid. It just takes shape of whatever you.
Okay.
You're so skibbity.
You're so skibbity.
But does that mean you're
Perfect.
so
Yeah.
cool, bad, or dumb?
I don't know.
Only one of those is awesome. Sounding.
Or if you
You're
say
so phantom text. That's the next one.
exactly.
Which is my
You're
second
killing it with this.
favorite.
That's awesome. Which
I just learned this one as well.
so that one, yeah, I sort of know. It's I forgot whose stream it is. It's either like it's
You know it. I'm just kidding.
It's some
Oh, I
Twitch,
kinda know
some
this
Twitch
one.
streamer lives in a house with this other guy who I guess goes by Phantom. And whenever the first guy had food, this guy would come in and say Phantom Tax, and he would take it. He would take the food. That's what I've heard from my younger siblings when they explained it to me.
Phantom tax means stealing food.
It's this, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I've never heard anyone actually go like Phantom Tax and like take food.
I saw
I'm
it
sure
at
younger people
Buffalo
do.
Wild Wings.
Oh, okay.
And that would be the place.
Yeah.
That
saw
would
him.
be the place. Who?
Jack,
I don't.
AJ took food right off your plate and said phantom text.
This happened to you?
I must have not been
You
paying
got
attention.
phantom text.
Yeah. No.
I thought you meant a different table.
No.
No.
He's certainly tapped in with the brain rot terms.
He's certainly
Anyways,
tapped
AJ
in.
is an outside state news.
I mean,
Character.
I think like an hour ago he used Huz.
Oh, okay.
Again, ironically, but
No, he just used
and that's another great segue into the next word,
Huz.
Huz, which is an abbreviation for a group of women. And
Derogatory.
Is it derogatory?
it says derogatory as like saying like shoddy or like the H word.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Hose.
Hose.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can swear on.
Oh, I mean, we talked about "Stupid Hoe" by Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
last.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that song.
Claire hates that song.
It's
What?
She put it on the worst songs.
It's
bracket.
just like Brainrot.
I think
There's
you,
a bunch of crashing sounds, there's clapping, she's making a like whistling noise with her mouth for a full minute and a half, and then she just repeats "stupid hoe." And the music video could be a Brainrot video.
I think that song made it on a Watch Mojo top 10 worst songs. So
Oh, what?
so.
Did
I have
you
to.
I'm wondering if
background
maybe-
from Watch Mojo?
I'm wondering if maybe
Claire.
Claire watched Watch Mojo before.
No. I didn't. I did look up
We'll move
horrible
on.
songs
We'll
and
move
listen
on.
to them, and it was an excruciating process, but I
There-
did it for Houselights.
You've already been caught. It's okay.
We appreciate your
We appreciate your honesty. But I just want to talk about that there's also different, like, variations of us
Yeah.
words
Yes.
then, which was explained horribly through a TikTok that me and Claire watched
Yeah,
before.
so my brother taught me huzz, and then he said there's lots of variations, texted them to me, and did not elaborate. So we
Yep.
turned to TikTok, which provided a subpar example. So let's run through them.
Yeah.
Fuzz,
That was the freshman one.
freshman
Which is
huzz.
So awful.
That's
Which is the worst thing.
Right. Freshman huzz. Yep.
Or you could say what the fuzz,
Apparently.
which
I don't, those are two
I don't
very
like that.
different
Very
I
different.
don't get that. Yeah.
Chuzz.
things.
I don't remember
I don't remember
chuzz.
chuzz.
Oh.
I remember gruz.
Gruz
That's
was
old people.
Yeah, old people.
Elderly people, yes.
Bruz, which is like your homies.
Your
you know,
bros.
your bros.
That one makes sense.
Oh, thuzz was for thugs, but according to the person making the TikTok, thug is too hard to say. It's too much in the mouth, I guess. That's literally what he
that's why
said.
you
Yeah.
say thug.
So fuzz, it's just easier.
Fuzz.
What is spuzz?
Spuzz.
I feel like I don't remember that one. That's the thing with these like brain rot words. They just like they come in and then it's just straight out,
And
and
I
like
could-
that's the point of it.
Spuzz.
I think I could make something up and it'd be just as good as a guess.
Spaghetti in a vase. Spuzz.
Spaghetti. There you go. Spuzz slang.
Well,
No, I don't know.
We got nothing on Google. AI overview did not help us this time.
Yeah.
dang it. We're anti-AI here at the Stadiums.
This says it's
Yeah.
Just kidding. Love AI.
Oh.
all of these are bad.
Yeah. These are not right.
These are like politically incorrect.
Wow.
So
Anyways,
wrong.
do we have any sort of final thoughts on brain rot, or has our brain been too rotted?
I
on
think
this?
it's gonna start melting. Soon,
I think yeah.
so-
I honestly can't think of it. I'm just like picturing the memes that Jack was sending me.
I'm brain rotting just talking about it.
No, like I think that I've said like way too many words that like have no meaning. Like the fact that all of these words you're like you can just use them for whatever. I'm like
I would love to have a takeaway of like, what does this say about a relationship to aesthetics? But
And I-
honestly, I don't even know.
Yeah.
if there's
I think I
anything
wrote
can-
down like all these like interesting questions.
Yeah,
I was like,
these-
what does internet humor entail? And do you have to be chronically online? Like, no, because it means nothing.
It means.
Yeah.
I'm sure someday we'll have research on it and it'll say something about our society right now. But as of right now,
Do you think the future of memes is brain rotted, or do you think we'll return to?
I think we
memes
could
have been brain
recover.
rotting since like MLG was funny, I think.
But we could turn the ship around and stop playing Minecraft in the back of every single video. Oh,
No, I like it.
okay.
We should keep doing that.
One
Yeah.
of these questions I do want to address really quickly. Do we have a favorite brain rot meme?
Ooh.
I just also feel like this whole podcast episode would send like
A Victorian child.
yeah into
Like,
a panic
away.
Into a
or
coma.
even just like anyone. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the gruz.
My grandfather. yes.
An
Favorites?
epidemic. Yeah.
I don't know if this is brain rot, but the Wojaks, I think those are funny.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're all like characters of like a type of person, and I
Yeah.
love them, and you can use them in like different. And I think as a cartoonist, I appreciate them a lot more because it's,
Yeah.
a lot of the times it's just like stupid. But I think there's I'll see some that are like very clever actually, and they like describe something, and
Yeah.
so I do like those because I think they're the least brain rot out
Yeah.
of all the brain rot, you know.
Those to me feel closer to a meme. Like those
Yeah.
ones that are like they don't know that I'm.
Or even just like straight
Thinking about blah,
satirization.
blah, blah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I think like, and we have some pictures pulled up. I don't know if we can get them up on the screen, but these are all very, like these are satirizations of like real people, like
Yeah.
you know probably.
Right.
So that's why I like it.
I don't have like a specific anything for you, but like I am like a baby with like a sensory video when I watch like the videos that do have like crash sound.
Coco Melon.
Yeah, it's like Coco Melon for me really. So I'm actually part of the problem, so I'm gonna let Claire answer.
Go ahead, Claire.
Mine was gonna be
The Wojaks.
the Wojaks.
Yeah.
Just because they remind me of memes, and I feel like they're often also not videos. And if it is a brain rot video, I guess sometimes maybe one sudden crash sound, which is like the punchline. But if the whole video is just a bunch of sounds, it's bad and not funny, and I must scroll.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier you like the one where the guy's standing in the corner of the party.
Yeah,
He's like, they
that's Wojak.
this
No.
guy. He's like, they don't know I'm whatever. I like that one.
Nice. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope that you come back after that.
Next week we're gonna read Shakespeare and
Yeah, we're gonna read.
We're gonna talk about old
replenish.
literature. Yeah.
no screens.
It's gonna be a seminar. Straight up.
I hope you guys get to unplug after watching this podcast.
Go read a
of
book.
course.
After
Go
listening
read.
to this,
Please.
Go for a
Anything
walk.
else.
Go for
And
a
don't
walk.
wear headphones.
Reconnect with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.